Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Murmured Mythos ASMR video. Today, I wanted to kind of show what I meant by workshopping my writing with you guys on this channel as I go. Now, this is a world that I've been working on more recently, that I started about 3 months ago. It's on the back burner at the moment because I didn't know where to take the story next. And that's okay, of course. Not every story is finished, and not every story is worth telling necessarily. But I thought that maybe tonight I could show you guys a little bit of the poetry I wrote out for the kind of mythos, funnily, of the world, and see what you guys think. And if nothing else, let you guys relax to the melody of my voice and the words being spoken to help those who might be interested in actually reading the piece. I have prepared a little thing on the side here that will just help anyone wanting to concentrate on the words and understand the words to have them in front of them. But remember, if you are watching this to relax, you may want to either make it so that your PC or whatever you're watching on is in night mode, because this is a very bright white document on Google Docs. And atop that, if you really want to relax, maybe consider just listening to the words instead and letting yourself fall into the rhythm that way. But let's get started now. They would remember this in the end, how the city tenement fell. No screams, nor tears, neither fire nor machine, the death of aspiration. They will remember this in the end, dark blade gainst alabaster tower, the wound immortal, peril soon afoot, the loss of surety. They remember this in the end, the dark skies and cracked ground twixt the bleakness that ensued, the passing of prosperity. They would remember this in the end, how they of dark intent, adherents of darkest pitch, sharp left the denizens with their fresh set war, the loss of courtesy. They remember, for now the city tenement was all but gone, and in its place a dastardly parody, with no right which no right man would claim, the place where this tale doth start proper, the city misery. So what I wanted to do with this piece is evoke something that really set out a world about emotion and morality, and it is, of course, slightly dark in premise, but remember, of course, that this is fiction, and atop that, it is meant to be the start of the book and to create a conflict. You can't have a story without conflict, and of course those conflicts can be either trivial or larger, and in this case some of these are of course larger, but conflict is not necessarily a negative thing in general, and story wise it is actually one of the most necessary things. So with that said, I want to kind of go through some words that I picked specifically and discuss that a little. So first off, I want to discuss the name of the city, Tentment, which of course is derived from contentment, the idea that this place was a place of content, of being happy, of being fulfilled, paradise essentially. And then by the end, the city is now called Misery. Again, a derivation of misery, and the idea being, of course, there that this city is now the opposite of what it once was. It is now, in fact, a place where people find themselves without courtesy or prosperity, surety or aspiration, which, of course, set up the premise for this story, which I haven't discussed this quite yet, but the premise is about how do you cope with, how do you exist without these things? What is that existence like? What is it like to not have, a goal, not have confidence, not have a sense of gain, or a sense of, how to put it, development, and a sense of care for one another, courtesy, of course, being the kind of catch-all term for that there. I really like using as well, this is something that you probably picked out, Gainst, for example, and Twixt. I really love playing with archaisms in my work. I really like that. Thines and thous and dost. I think it really adds, for me, a sense of flair, but not just flair, authenticity, because when you're dealing with a fantasy world, you're trying to have someone believe that these things happened, because stories are essentially lies for the most part in the fictional world, and so you want your lie to be believable in essence, and with that you have to create a more tangible, more plausible, I think that's the best word, plausible lie. And in this instance, I believe very much so that using old archaic words really sets it to sit as if it's in the past. For example, when you're dealing with a medieval setting and you use that type of terminology, or a fantasy setting, you really allow people to believe that this might have been our world years ago, but something happened, or that it's not so different from our world and so could feasibly exist. I will apologise, by the way, because I did realise whilst I was reading the poem that I wasn't perhaps as hot on moving the prompt, the auto cue almost, as I should have been. So if you couldn't quite read along as much as you should have been able to, then I apologise for that. What I will do, because I think I only really want to talk about this very briefly, I don't want to start picking it too far apart, because I think that's something we can really dive into in other videos and at other times. But I really just wanted to kind of give an overview, and just also, I don't want to go too deep because this is still meant to be ASMR, and it is about relaxation, and some topics can, I understand, for some people not be relaxing. So we'll go through this again one last time, and then we'll maybe close out there. So they would remember this in the end, how the city Tentment fell. No screams nor tears, neither fire nor machine, the death of aspiration. They would remember this in the end. The dark skies. Oh, I've missed a bit. I'm doing really well at this. They remember this in the end. Dark blade against alabaster tower. The wound immortal. Peril soon afoot. The loss of surety. They remember this in the end. The dark skies and cracked ground. Twixt the bleakness that ensued. The passing of prosperity. They remember this in the end. Oh, I've gone too far on the auto cue. Sorry, guys, I'm doing very badly at this. They would remember this in the end. How they of dark intent, adherents of darkest pitch, sharp left the denizens with their fresh set war. The loss of courtesy. They would remember. For now the city temperament was all but gone, and in its place a dastardly parody, which no right man would claim. The place where the tale doth start proper, the city misery. I've got to be honest, reading that back, I feel somewhat proud of the piece. There's things I definitely would improve, but I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know if I would use it in a final draft of the actual story, because I feel like you could do a lot with a very dramatic telling of this in prose as well. But you guys tell me what you think. I think it's really a cool idea to have me kind of workshop it with you guys as I go. As well as that, I want to apologize for the perhaps shoddy delivery of this. It's not something I'm used to, and I'm really trying to understand how to modulate my voice for ASMR, and really putting my ASMR hat on when I'm doing it. I hope the soft speaking, by the way, has been nice for you guys, and I hope the cadence with which I've been speaking has been relaxing too. I don't know if it's something that everyone likes. I know many people like whispered like this, but I think it can be really nice to appeal to both audiences, and especially when dealing with poetry, this cadence rather than this can be really nice and really elevate the poetry. But with that said, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm really enjoying making ASMR, even for myself, but I'm hoping that whoever's watching this, however you're watching it, that you're enjoying it too, and that you're getting something from it, even if it's to be able to turn off your mind for a little bit and just relax. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for listening. If you are enjoying this content, do consider subscribing. Subscribe. And we'll see where we go next with this ASMR journey and the Murmured Mythos channel. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.